So over Thanksgiving, I went to Berlin, and it had nothing to do with hormonal treatments. Those ended years ago. The high point, the Museum of the German Democratic Republic, seen there. There you can relive a time when East Germany existed, if you could call it an existence. The museum offers a typical day in socialism with real artifacts from clothes to coffee. You can sort through closets, walk through a concrete living room, fiddle with an idle pressure cooker. It's like crawling through Sean Penn's brain. You can steer a Trabant, the worst car ever made. Sadly, there's no such thing as a new Trabant. A dead one is just patched up and then sent out on the road, like Joan Rivers. And of course, there's GDR's only microchip. It costs 100 times more than ours, which was already an antique. East German leaders beamed with pride over the chip, even though it never got made. But the museum is more than a wry commentary on life without aspirations. It's a salute to capitalism. From every corner, you're told why their economy failed, why nothing worked, and how a desperate people craved Western goods. Who's at fault? Well, the culprits are obvious, but the big ones, unions. The big lie of socialism, it's about the worker when it's really about power. And the government controlled its people through the bullying power of unions. In return, the unions were allowed to engage in slothful incompetence. In the end, you had a country full of worthless money and nothing to spend it on. But the museum visitors loved this grim world. To them, it was a carnival freak show. You know, the two-headed rabbit, the lizard-skinned man, the bearded lady, Joy Behar. I might say that socialism belongs in that group, except those other freaks, they never killed anyone. And if you disagree with me, then you, sir, are worse than Hitler. An old one. You know, Mr. Whittle, you know what scares me is that the people in the museum were laughing at all this and reading the explanations, but we're probably going to go back and vote whatever way they went that might have supported unions or any of these policies. That's what drove me crazy.
You really need to see socialism to understand how amazing America is. I did a video on American exceptionalism, and people talk about it like, hey, USA #1. But if you get down to it, the United States produces 7 times more science than the next 6 countries put together. The top 50 movies of all time are American movies. Economically, we have 23% of China's...
Well, depends what kind of movies you're talking about.
All movies. Okay. American studios spoken in English. 23% of China's population, we produce 3 times their GDP. 5% of the population. Why? Because the things that we believe in generate wealth, they generate success and prosperity, and people who live here and grow up here have no appreciation of it. I think every single American should have to take that tour, or at least watch you take that tour,
yeah.
and get some real appreciation for how unbelievably remarkable this country is.
Well, to your point, and also to your name, because I like it, is I have not been to East Berlin, but I've been to Prague a couple times, and they've got the Museum of Communism there. And it's all about Soviet area, Czechoslovakia, and the conditions and everything. And I'm looking there, and I'm looking at all these horrible things and all this stuff that these people went through. And I think to myself, thank God for the billionaire savior of democracy that is George Soros for funding that Velvet Revolution. Without him, they would still be mired in that pollution, Greg.
Not true. Joe, shouldn't all Americans go there?
I think it's good for people who say, well, socialism just hasn't been given a chance. You can't find a better example. You have a country that was broken, and you had, here's the free market west side, here's the Eastern Bloc side, oppressed people, misery, country falls apart, another country where they're able to become wealthy and happy and overweight and make disgusting pornographic films. It's the truest success story I think every American can aspire to.
You know what it's like? It's like Goofus and Gallant from Highlights.
Yeah, it's the most perfect. If you were to set up an experiment any better than that.
Also, you know what's amazing? I was in East Berlin. I was smoking cigarettes in bars. So in a sense, they are freer there than we are. And it makes no sense.
Yes, that's true. And it is also true that it's amazing how counterintuitive capitalism is. No matter how many times we run this experiment, you have to explain to people all over again how the government providing health care isn't going to make it cheaper and better.
Yeah. You know what the problem is? Too many syllables. Capitalist. That's hard to say. You got to make it
it's
like
hard,
cap.
It's hard for you, Bill.
Free market.
I think we all learned something that even in the time of East Germany, they still live better than Bill. All right. So,
and my last name is Schultz.
Yeah. So what are the kind of unfair?
Yeah, it's really unfair. Yeah.
All right. So what are the health benefits of smoking crack cocaine? Bill Whittle returns to talk about his new book, The Health Benefits of Smoking Crack Cocaine. Out of line, Mr. Whittle. Our TSA pat-down's just another evil part of the homosexual agenda. Well, that would explain the makeover I got at JFK last week. You have to admit, I look delish. Well, it's no new hats for our nation's bureaucrats. Yes, in an effort to reach across the aisle to Republicans, I think that's actually a metaphor, the president has ordered a 2-year kibosh on any and all non-military federal worker pay hikes. The move ticked off union leaders while saving $5 billion over 2 years. So is this a good thing? Or as some have countered, a good thing? Well, my houseboy Raul did the math and found out that $5 billion equals just 0.3% of the $1.3 trillion deficit from a single year in Obama's budget. Indeed, this is nothing more than good PR, or as hotair.com likes to call it, the lowest hanging fruit in Obama's bipartisan orchard.
That was an intern that wrote that.
All right.
An intern looking to get promoted.
For more on this, we go live to Fox News political correspondent, puppy battling doorstep. PBD? Not so funny when that's not a doorstep.
You know they've got like $500 worth of doggy toys at that house. So
Yeah,
he's playing with that
it's
thing.
true. You know what
Yeah.
it is? It's like for Christmas, you end up playing with a box.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Box is what we called Uncle Fred. Hey, some say that he's, copying Clinton's triangulation approach. A, what is that? And B, where am I?
Triangulation is when you have 3 different points of view, you measure the angle to the midpoint, and then you're able to determine where that other point
Is
is.
that what he's doing?
No. No, this is the smartest politician who ever lived. We've been told this repeatedly from before he was elected until the present day. You do the math on it, as somebody did already, and it turns out it's 0.000166 of the total deficit for next year. So he really has 2 hardcore base elements left, union workers and government people. He's talking about freezing the salaries to save 3% of 1% of this is the smartest politician in the history of the world. He's poking his stick in the eye of the only people left in the whole world who support him in order to save less than 1%.
But you could argue that he's trying, Ann. He's trying. Look, he's doing something.
Yes, and he's annoying government workers.
Yeah.
The spokesman for government unions interrupted his mid-morning nap to announce that this would not help the deficit. But no, this is what liberals always say. Everything we want to cut is, that won't affect the deficit.
Yeah.
The only thing that will affect the deficit are the 2 things we can't cut.
Yeah.
Medicare and Social Security. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Then there's nothing we can cut.
Joe, if they should just cut the jobs, not the pay, right? That's permanent.
Well,
Right.
what I liked was in the little video clip you saw. I think we actually saw people literally rubber stamping paperwork. I think we actually witnessed the rubber stamping.
Yeah. That wasn't stock footage. That was actual.
Oh, yeah. You can see they're stamping their fingers down to the bone.
Yes.
You can talk about how it's not a whole lot of money, but wherever a good start is, this is like 4 steps before you could get to the good start. So it's like, we kind of need to do this and a whole lot of other things.
It is true. It's a good point, Bill. We tried to freeze your wages, then we found out that you actually pay us.
Right, yeah. And now I'm paying you more.
Yeah,
for nothing.
exactly.
It's not as if I wasn't broke enough.
I know.
What am I doing here? Because that's just crappy all around. And B, I don't think Obama's worried about the unions just for the fact that they're not going to vote for any alternative. And I guess by saying that, he's worried about the unions about as much as he's worried about Snooki's new tan tax to keep her dirt brown. And I don't think he's worried about that.
I don't think he is either.
Why is it only a freeze? How about a 20% cut like everyone else has taken in the recession?
Yeah, that's a good question. And it's a question that Mike Baker can ponder in the next segment. Do you hate him really?
Yes.
You have a comment on the show? Email us. It's redeye@foxnews.com. And to leave a voicemail on my direct line, like how Bill sucks, call 212-462-5050. Still to come, the halftime report from Mr. Mike Baker. Kind of a great guy.
Tonight's halftime report is sponsored by Silly Hobbies, those activities undertaken for pleasure or relaxation that strike most people as completely trivial or boring. Thanks, Silly Hobbies.
Welcome back. Let's find out if we've got anything wrong so far. For that, we go to Mike Baker, who apparently is on some phone somewhere.
Oh, I guess a drink.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Well, I'll call you later. It was Julian Assange. We were just chatting.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm sorry. Where are we at now on the show?
Well, right now we're doing the halftime report, which you are doing.
Look at that.
Just barely doing. I
Oh
might
my
add.
God.
Suffering.
Have we got stuff for the halftime report?
Okay.
Okay. First of all, because we have 2 bills on the show tonight, I'll just go with Schultz and or Whittle.
Okay.
So, Schultz,
Yes.
you've said that you will not be able to attend my non-denominational, all-inclusive holiday hoo-ha at the Baker compound this year.
No Kwanzaa log. Not doing it.
Okay, but apparently you're good with dinner sometime soon.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I guess what day and where should we book a table?
What part of Arby's and any day is fine because I got no friends. Are you not understanding, sir?
Okay,
Of course
just text,
on you.
You just text me, okay? All right.
Apparently,
Getting
you
back down
have
to-
nothing for the halftime report.
That's
Clearly,
not
that was
true.
good.
That's not true.
Nothing.
Maybe it's because you guys have done such a fine job.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Now are you going to make
Yeah.
dinner plans with
Yeah.
all of us?
I'm
Or
sure
give us
that's
a
gonna
story?
happen.
Now,
Well, let's,
great. Are you
yeah.
hungry?
Let's go with a random sampling of things that were said during the no labels movement discussion in the A block. Ann, you referred to Lamar Alexander. Bill Schultz then followed up with something I can't talk about.
Yes.
Whittle, you said that every time that Spock's put in charge of the Enterprise, things go terribly wrong. I have no idea what that means in terms of the no labels movement, but I refer you to an original episode of Star Trek, air date of November 17th, 1966, called The Menagerie. It was a part 1 and part 2, where upon claiming to receive a subspace message, Spock diverts the Enterprise to Starbase 11 in order to visit the ship's previous captain, Christopher Pike, who's been severely injured and was using a wheelchair. Spock continues his deception by secretly transporting Pike to the Enterprise and uses falsified orders to take the ship to the quarantined world of Talos 4. Leaving Captain Kirk behind. Kirk and Commodore Mendez of Starbase 11 trail and eventually catch up to the Enterprise in the shuttle where Spock surrenders Mendez. He orders Spock to trial, where Spock uses the events of the cage as his defense. Now we go to Menagerie Part 2, which was then aired the following week, and Spock continues detailing the events of the cage to the tribunal. Okay.
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, but I mean, my point being that things didn't always go wrong when Spock was in charge.
Mike,
I'm still not clear on the point.
Yeah.
Okay, well, no.
I like you, and I'm gonna let you finish. But let
Okay,
me just
so in
say
that
this:
case, no, you're
Christopher
done.
Pike was the
Whittle,
greatest
Whittle,
captain of
you're
all
done.
time.
You're done, Whittle.
Of
You're
all
done.
time.
Hey, look at this. It's the halftime current events quiz.
Oh, great.
Oh, nice. Bill Whittle, that is, you're up first since you already were on the camera. This past week, we celebrated Thanksgiving in a tradition dating back to 1863, when Lincoln first set aside a national holiday for giving thanks. This past Thursday, of course, Thanksgiving, what was the score of the Jets-Bengals game?
This is the worst
Okay,
halftime
negative.
I've ever seen.
Your next
Let him
question.
answer.
Next question. We've got 5 questions each question worth 2 points. Whittle, which crazed despot this past week threatened to annihilate its neighbor to the south?
That'd be Kim Jong-il and Kim Il something or other. The baby Il.
Name one other crazed despot.
Ahmadinejad.
Which message is being rolled out by the No Labels movement in an effort to attract members? We got it going on. B, a rebellious idea for the politically homeless. Or C, centrists bringing sexy back.
Centrists are bringing sexy back.
Okay, and which new senator from an East Coast state might have or might not have been in Vietnam?
Christine McDonald.
All right, Joe, you're up next, Joe. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange in a recent interview suggested which high-ranking U.S. official should resign.
First, I want to say, with all this Star Trek talk, shockingly, I'm the least nerdy person tonight. It's never happened. I think it was Hillary Clinton.
Nice, well done. Mark Kirk is a new U.S. senator from Illinois, having previously won an election for the seat previously held by whom?
The answer would be Jets 27, Bengals 18.
Actually, that score was 26-10, but you were close. Chicago, a town in Illinois, I'm told, boasts 2 baseball teams. Which is Bill's favorite?
Ooh, I think it's the White Sox.
Oh, dear. When did the Cubs, that's a clue, last win the World Series?
What? No, you were correct.
Okay, and finally, complete the last line to the following Black Eyed Peas mega hit, Boom Boom Pow.
Pass.
Boom Boom Pow now, Boom Boom Pow, Boom Boom. Okay, you did horribly, Joe. And Ann, we're going to finish up with you. A 19-year-old Somali naturalized citizen was arrested in Portland the other day for what reason?
Because he refused to go through the airport security pat-down.
Ooh, no, because he wanted to blow up a whole crowd at the Christmas tree lighting. Sorry you missed that one. Which musical act has had more hits according to some reputable poll-keeping thing, the Beatles or the cast of Glee? No?
Wait, did you say Julian Assange wants Hillary to resign? Because I think maybe we're being a little too
Don't get
hard
off
on
track
this
here.
lad.
Just because you're 0 for 2, Ann, don't go off topic
Yeah,
here.
God forbid, Ann, that you actually referred to the stories we did
Right, exactly.
today on the show.
Ann,
Let's back to Star Trek.
name the 2 remaining Beatles.